Well, welcome once again. This is Mick, the Doctor of Digital, at the Doctor of Digital program. Purpose of the show is to transform your business and life with education and inspiration. I introduce busy business leaders to trends in business, technology, and marketing to highlight people you should know. Can we truly achieve a harmonious balance between external success and internal fulfillment, or are they inherently at odds, forcing us to prioritize one over the other? My guest today, with his remarkable journey of self-discovery, might just hold the key to unlocking this age-old conundrum. Joining me is Alan Lazaros, a remarkable individual whose life experiences have shaped his mission to guide others towards a life of profound meaning and purpose. From the devastating loss of his father at a tender age to a near-fatal car accident that shook him to his core at 26, Alan's path has been a period of deep introspection and personal growth. It was during his darkest moments that he encountered two beacons of light, Bronnie Ware's The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying and a TED Talk by the incredible Tony Robbins that ignited his unwavering commitment to self-improvement. This journey led him to develop a heart-driven yet no-nonsense approach to inspiring, motivating, and educating others on what it truly takes to reach the next level of their lives. Today, Alan leads a global team of 21 individuals, drawing from his vast experience spanning 10,000 hours of speaking, podcasting, training, and coaching people from all walks of life. With an unwavering belief that the right knowledge, mentors, community, and habits can empower heart-driven individuals to achieve success and fulfillment beyond their wildest dreams. During this episode, we'll do a deep dive into the changes and hot topics of a successful leader for life's biggest challenges and growth. I will leverage the expertise of my guest and how to navigate the unique dynamics of the field. By the end of this episode, you'll be better equipped to know what to do, and I encourage you to contact my guest, Alan Lazaros, CEO, founder, and co-host of Next Level University. With that, I want to welcome Alan. How are you today, Alan?
I'm doing very well. That was an awesome introduction. You definitely have a voice for audio.
Well, I was in college, and there was a TV program and a radio program, and that's exactly what they told me. You have the face for radio. So I said, thank you very much. I'm into radio.
I said voice for radio. But
Oh,
either way.
it works. I usually ask my guests, and I'd say it's a pivotal moment in their lives to get them on the path that they're in. But you almost have more than one pivotal moment. Could you tell us a little about this remarkable background that you have? It's really incredible.
Thank you. So I'm going to try to condense. I know we have a short medium here, 20 minutes, so this is going to be a challenge for me because I tend to be long-winded, but we'll give you the short version. So had a father, as you mentioned in the bio, pass away when I was 2 years old. Had an older sister who was 6 at the time. Mom was 31. Stepdad came into the picture when I was 3. My real last name is actually McCorkle. This is my stepfather's last name, Lazaros. And he left when I was 14, and when he left, he took his entire extended family with him. At that same time, 14 was the hardest year of my life, and I didn't realize this until my 30s, honestly, when I started doing therapy and stuff like that. But essentially, my mom at that same time got into... So first of all, when we were being the Lazaroses, we didn't really talk to my birth father's side of the family very much, the McCorkles, because we were trying to be the Lazaroses, kind of. And then when my stepfather left, he took his entire extended family with him. I haven't seen any of them since. And then at that same time, my mom got in a fight with my Aunt Sandy, her sister, and then her sister ostracized us from her side of the family. And my sister moved out that same year with her older boyfriend, so I kind of, in some ways, lost 3 families by the time I'm 14. Fortunately, my birth father's side, we re-engaged with them, and they've been there since. But at the end of the day, that created some serious challenges and adversity. And so my point of all that, though, the pivotal moment question, I realize now in hindsight that my trauma response was aim higher, work harder, get smarter. And I realize that that's not necessarily normal. And the root cause of that now in hindsight, having coached so many people all over the world, is actually just self-belief. I always had a lot of self-belief. So people say your adversity is your advantage.
Right.
It's really not unless you believe in yourself a lot. Because when the past is painful and the present is painful, a lot of times you build a bigger, better, brighter future in your mind if you believe in yourself. If you don't, you're going to naturally escape into drugs or alcohol or whatever. And I kind of did both.
Okay. Wow. That's, it's amazing. That's like, what an incredible story, and a credible story of adversity, but overcoming it. When you have gone through so many of these things, and maybe from your coaching and developing others, what sort of changes that you have seen over the years and help?
Mick, are you still there?
Lost the connection there for a second. So I was asking about what are some of the changes that you have seen, and maybe from the fact that you've been helping people for so many years, what would you see and what have you seen in terms of changes?
So one of the things that I think is the most important thing is what I used to do with people when I would coach them is I would say I was very naive and aspirational. And I didn't really understand that a lot of people don't have self-belief. And so what works for me might not work for somebody else. But what I used to do is I would say, I call it a super growth mindset. I would say you can achieve this and you can become this. I don't really do that anymore. So now what I do is I help them uncover who they
Okay.
really are. So some people struggle with self-belief. Some people struggle with self-worth. Some people have
Got
deep
it.
insecurities socially.
Mm-hmm.
Other people have deep insecurities about their competence. And so now I understand I got to figure out what end of the spectrum you're on. I see a couple buckets. So one of the main buckets, and everyone out there watching or listening can kind of figure out which one they tend to be in. Some people are extremely type A goal achievers who are very goal oriented and growth oriented and improvement oriented. And then other people are very socially oriented.
Sure.
So for me, I've always been more of the computer engineer type, mathematical thinker, structure, discipline, goal orientation. And really what it comes down to at the deepest level is the way you think and what creates meaning. And so the way that I've tried to help people is more identify who they really are and uncover that, and then amplify the pros, the positives, the strengths of that, and mitigate some of the inherent weaknesses that come with that. And so that's the last piece I'll say, which is every strength comes with a weakness. That's been fascinating. So self-belief is a great strength I have, but the weakness is arrogance. And so humility needs to be injected constantly for me. Whereas other people don't believe in themselves, humility isn't an issue. They're already naturally humble. And so I think that that's been very clear over the years for sure.
Are there things that you would say that you've seen that are growth areas or hot growth areas in this transformation of the self? Are there things that you would say, yeah, this is what people need to do, and this is what you really should think about?
The number one that comes to mind is self-worth. So self-belief and self-worth. And again, that's already becoming a theme here. At the core, when you really unpack it and you get down to the root cause of what's holding people back, it's ultimately fear.
Right.
But fear of what? And some people have fear, and there's two types of courage, so I'll go into that quickly too. So competence courage is the one most people think about, and I call it competence courage. So apply to the job, do the podcast interview, apply to that school, take the test. That's what most people think of when they think of courage. They think of give the speech in front of 1,000 people. See, that's actually not the courage that I struggled with. The courage that I struggled with is social courage, speaking your truth, setting boundaries, telling the truth to people who don't want to hear it,
Oh,
being willing to call someone out for their BS.
wow.
That kind of courage. So you have social courage and then you have competence courage. So I always had a lot of competence courage, but I didn't have a lot of social courage. I was too scared to share my truth. I was too scared to set a boundary. I was too scared to call someone out for their nonsense when they say something totally inaccurate, and my brain goes, that's not true at all. But I didn't have the courage to call it out. And so the two core root wounds are either you have low self-belief and you don't believe in your ability to achieve externally, or you have low self-worth, that was mine, where you don't feel like you can set and honor your boundaries. You don't feel like you're socially likable or accepted, that kind of thing. By the way, Mick, I am having some internet issues here. I don't know if that's on your end or mine. Can you hear me?
I think I can hear. I hear that too. It's kind of cutting out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, we're having some internet challenges. Mick, are you still there?
Because it does seem to be cutting out. I'm losing Wi-Fi here.
Yeah. I can hear you, but it's very jumbled and it's very delayed.
Try to reschedule
Yeah, I think we might have to.
because it doesn't look like it's going to work here.
Agreed.
I'm not even sure if you heard
No
me.
worries.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, we'll have
Well,
to reschedule. Yeah.
this is really unfortunate because I mean this is so great. I mean you have such dynamite here. This is fantastic stuff. I just want to make sure that it's heard and heard correctly and rightly.
Completely understand. We'll reschedule. No problem. I appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, I mean I'm really sorry for it. I got to apologize. This thing just it's cutting out on me.
It's okay. No worries. Thank you for having me. I don't take that lightly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll reschedule and we'll rock and roll soon,
Well,
okay?
all right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your patience. I really think you got a great message and I want everybody to hear it and hear it correctly. Thank you very much, Alan.
Thank you, thank you. Talk soon. Talk soon.
All right. Be well. God bless us.